Namaste to one and all present here. Myself Sudarshan. I am here to present the topic continuity. The topic continuity is one of the important topics when higher secondary mathematics is concerned, particularly in differential calculus, chapter of differential calculus. It's one of the important concept in the chapter of differential calculus. Before going to the topic, I would like to clarify a thing. That is, when we are considering a function, there is always a curve associated with the function, and when a curve is considered, it is obtained only through a locus of any type of function. For example, let us take f of x equal to some x square. So f of x equal to x square is my function. When this locus, when I put the locus of f of x, I have obtained a curve like this, which is nothing but a parabola. So this parabola is obtained through locus of this function, and the function represents the parabola. So there is no difference between saying a curve or a function. So when I have to check whether the curve is continuous, I can directly check whether the function is continuous, and vice versa. If I have to check whether the function is continuous, I can simply check whether the curve is continuous or not. So both the terms of function and curve represent the same thing. This is the main thing I would like to clarify before going to the topic. Our topic of continuity is to check whether the function, whether the differentiable function is continuous or not. So how to check whether the function is continuous or not? We can check whether the function or the curve associated with the function. The definition goes like this. Let f be a real valued function. What do you mean by real valued function? If a real valued function is one which has its output from real numbers. That is, f is a function from A to R, where A is my domain and R is my codomain, or nothing but A is my input set and R is my output set. So, what is this A? The A is nothing but a subset of real numbers, not exactly real numbers. The reason for having this as a subset of real numbers is we can have only my input where my function is defined. That is my input set. That is the definition of function. So the definition of function goes like that. For each and every values in the domain, we have output in the codomain. So we have a mapping in the codomain. So my domain should be mapped. So for each and every value, for each and every input, I should have output. So I am considering all the input values as my all my input values to the for which I can have a output in a function as my input domain or simply a domain. So x belongs to A, which is subset of R, and f of x is nothing but my final value of the function, which is f of x, which belongs to R, which is it's nothing but a real number. So when we can say the function is a continuous or not, so before that, when we have to say that the function is continuous, we have to check at each and every point in the domain. Only if at each and every point in the domain the function is continuous, we can say that the function is continuous in the given domain. So the definition of continuous goes like that. F is continuous at any point x is equal to c, which belongs to my input domain. So A is my input domain. I have to pick. I'm picking a value x c in the place of x. So there are a set of three conditions should be satisfied to say that my function f is continuous. The three conditions are maybe. First condition is f of c is defined. So what is f of c is defined? That is, I have to find out the function should give me an output for this x is equal to c. That is called f of c is defined. That is, this c should belong to my input set, and I have to find an output for this x is equal to c from my function. This is the first condition. The second condition is that limit x tends to c. The second condition goes like this. Limit x tends to c, f of x is equal to n. What is the limit condition says? That is, I am having x and I am considering a small interval x minus delta and x plus delta. This is x minus delta and this is x plus delta. This is a small interval of very negligible quantities. The whole radius or the distance between the x minus delta and x plus delta is small negligible quantity. And I'm considering a point from this set. And I'm also considering another small interval called L. L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon. Where L is from my output set and this x is from my input set. Sorry, x is not x, it's c. This c is from my input set. So I'm taking values nearer to C, not exactly at C. I'm taking the values nearer to C, like left hand limit and right hand limit. So I'm considering values which are close to C, not exactly at C. They are close to C, and I'm also considering the output values close to L, not exactly at L, close to L with a negligible value of epsilon. So this limit is this interval is L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon. So the definition of limit goes like it. For each and every value in this small interval C minus delta and C plus delta, I have to find a value in this particular interval L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon. If this condition is satisfied for both left and left interval of C and right interval of C, if I can find the output in this interval L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon, I can say that for each and every x which belongs to C minus delta and C plus delta, I have a final answer between L minus epsilon and L plus epsilon. This is the definition of limit, which is limit extends to C. This limit extends to C, f of x is equal to L. This is the definition of limit. So definition of limit is like that. For each and every value in the given small interval C minus delta and C plus delta, I have to find a value between just nearer to L, not exactly at L. I can say the limit value is equal to L, but the limit value is equal to L depicts that the final answer is somewhat nearer to L, it should not be exact. So not exactly at L, it can be anywhere somewhat nearer to L. This is the definition of limit. So this is the second condition. Okay, shall I say that when these two conditions are satisfied, the whole function or the whole f of x is continuous? No, not at all. When these two conditions are satisfied, I have a third main condition, namely the third condition is f of c should be equal to my L. I have f of c, so f is defined at my input x is equal to c. I have the limit of x tends to c at L. So these two values should coincide and these two values should equate. Only when these two values equate each other, I can say that the function f is continuous at x is equal to c. Otherwise, I cannot say that the function is continuous. So these are the three conditions. Okay, shall I say the entire function is continuous with these three conditions only? Not at all. I can say the entire function is continuous at the given interval only if all the conditions are satisfied in each and every point for each x belongs to. That is, for every value of x belongs to my domain. Okay, I have to check this condition, and for when these three conditions is satisfied for each and every x belong to the domain set, I can say the function is continuous in the given domain, or else I cannot say. So we have to check for each and every point in the domain. Hope you are clarified with the concept of continuity. Thank you for being with patience.